Kirby. Turn it up. MY96.
Hey, thanks to Mrs. Carlson from Ralston School for joining us a little earlier on during the show. Boy, it sounds like they've got something really special. Ralston School, of course, I think she said 90% military kids in that school. And of course, with all the schools doing something for Remembrance Day today, I can imagine that they've got, extra special plans today. So thanks to Carol Carlson and Mr. Craven for joining us out here. He was a little shy with the microphone, but he's a good guy and great staff over there at Ralston School. All right, hey, welcome to the show here. It's Kim Johnstons, Shalinda Kirby. So a little bit of a background. Let me just hit the reset button. If you're new to the show, Shalinda is the female voice that you hear every morning. She's from Drayton Valley. She's an accomplished singer who at the age of, 18? Was on Canadian Idol?
16.
16, on Canadian Idol. She won the gold ticket to go to Toronto. You were like one of the first eliminations, though, weren't you? Is that? Yeah, but that's okay. It was a good experience. She's the oldest of two kids, both of whom you both live in the Hat. Cole's still here, right?
Yeah, he's still kicking around.
Yep, she's an animal lover. She's a fitness enthusiast and a bit of a scary movie fanatic. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the biggest misconception that people they're like, oh, I didn't expect that you were maybe so tall, or what do you hear a lot of?
That's one for sure, is that I'm a tall girl. I'm 5'11", and most people expect me to be like shorter.
Okay.
A lot of people expect me to have blonde or red hair. I get that a lot. And no, I have dark hair. I don't know, probably the tall thing.
That's the thing,
A lot of guys are very intimidated by my height.
Let me say this though, you sound very laid back and very relaxed on the air, but in real life, you've got an intensity to you. You're a very, very hard worker. So I'm not sure. I mean,
kind of a perfectionist.
Yeah, I would say that too. All right, me, happily married, dad of a couple boys. Unlike most guys I know, I'm not that big of a sports fan. I think I know enough to kind of keep up with the conversation if it's about sports. What else can I say about myself? Music enthusiast. Back in school, I played the trombone and the baritone.
Tech savvy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little.
Little bit. A little bit nerdy that way. And if there's one thing I've noticed, that as long as I can recall, I've always, like back in school, I was always the first one to make friends with the new kid in the class. If there was a kid maybe that was always being picked on, I was always the one that was like trying to buddy and trying to chum up to them a little bit. Aww. That was kind of one of the things that I did. So like I wasn't part of the in-group necessarily. I was kind of the one that seemed to kind of reach out to the kids that might not have had a lot of friends or whatever. So that was my thing. I think I still do that.
Class, especially if your school gets a lot of new kids.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of reminiscing, we got to talk about this story. Did you hear which iconic piece of technology from the 80s is about to make a comeback?
Well, you mentioned earlier on the show it had something to do with a Walkman.
Yeah. Get this. The cassette tape appears to be ready to be revived in 2013. Now, hang on. Like, did you ever make? I mean, maybe it was a little before your time. Mixtapes.
Of course, I did.
Okay, I was just checking.
For my first car, I had like this, thing that I would do every Saturday is I'd turn the radio on and I would record, songs that I liked, and I would play them in my car.
I love doing that, except when the damn announcer talked over the intro of the song. I hated that.
Oh yeah, one of the reasons I went into radio.
Wreck the song, right? So, anyways, yeah, the cassette tape is making a comeback. Now, we're not talking, the mixtapes and the recorded music or whatever that you give to your boyfriend. Researchers in Switzerland have found a way to store more than 35 terabytes of memory on a single cassette. Okay, think about that for a sec. Think about that for a sec. You know how you can go to, Visions and buy, one of those external hard drive things where, a lot of them are like 500 gigs, and you might find one that's like a terabyte.
For people who have like lots of music, game downloads and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a terabyte of data might be able to hold, I don't know, like 30 movies, maybe more. 1 terabyte holds that much. They can store 35 terabytes on an audio cassette.
That's insanity.
That is crazy. So, anyways, they say that they've tested it out. They feel confident that it can be done, and they're doing it now. And they say that, here's the other reason why they're doing it. They say that it's way more efficient with power. which is a big thing for, for your like computer hard drives and stuff. Power suckers like you would not believe. And they say that storing stuff on a cassette way more energy efficient than a hard drive.
So does that mean that, car companies and, truck companies and stuff like that are going to have to revitalize the inside of their vehicles to, allow a cassette tape to be added to the interior?
Well, I don't think they're talking about necessarily storing music and stuff on there. They're talking about like in a commercial sense. When when a company needs to store all their company records for the past 25 years or whatever, that's kind of what they're thinking of. So
I was getting excited.
Yeah, well, see,
I love taking it out and trying to fix the tape with a pencil and
twirling it around there.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I don't miss that at all.
Yeah.
Actually.
I'll post the story if I get a chance here this morning on our Facebook fan page, but nonetheless, it was kind of a weird story. The thing about the power though, I find that kind of interesting. Have you noticed? Okay, in your home nowadays, the energy efficient appliances, the fridge, the stove, the dishwasher, the energy efficient light bulbs. We supposedly are using way less, like all these things, they use way less power than the ones maybe from 10 or 15 years ago, right? The TV, they say that your flat panel TV uses like 1/20th of the power of a regular picture tube TV.
Like those massive TVs.
Yeah, like way less power. Yet, we're still making these high voltage power lines. I don't know if you've gone west along the #1 highway. These like, if we're using so much less power now than we did 15 years ago, why do we need these massive power lines that they're building? Well, they say one of the reasons why is the fact that computers now, everyone's got 2, 3, 4, 5 computers in their house. Companies have these massive computers. They say that one of the reasons why is because all the computers now just power suckers. And so they say this cassette thing might help that out. So there you go. Hey, it's 8:16. It's My Mornings, the KJ and Kirby Show. Welcome to the program here. Coming up in just a bit, we got to talk about this chewing your nails thing, a scientific study. Why is it so tough to stop nibbling on your nails when you're a little bit nervous? That is on the way here this morning. And there's a weird new fragrance for men that's coming soon to a cosmetic counter near you this fall. I guarantee every guy is going to want this. I'll give you the heads up on what it is after this.
Joining the My96 Rewards Club is easy. All you do is log on to my96fm.com and play games, answer trivia questions, and of course, listen to My96. When you